And I'm here today with my girl Cleveland Kate. Cleveland Kate, what is up with you? How you doing today?
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
You look so pretty today.
Oh, thank you. I had to do a video today, so I'm coming in here a little different today. But thank you. I did my makeup myself, so
You look very
took
pretty.
about an hour. So thank you. I appreciate that. So how was your weekend?
It was good. It was pretty chill. We got a new puppy last Tuesday, so it was
Oh,
an
you
awful lot of
did.
walking the dog and taking him out, trying to get him housebroken and all that kind of fun stuff. So he's a Bernedoodle. So right
Okay,
now
I
he's
never
8
heard of
weeks,
that.
9 weeks tomorrow. He's about coming up on 10 pounds.
Oh
But
wow.
his dad is 40 and his mom is 70 pounds. So I don't know how big he's gonna get.
Bernedoodle?
A Bernese mountain dog and a standard poodle. Standard poodles are big, not them little tiny toy poodle things.
Yeah.
He's adorable. His name's Milo.
Oh.
And he's so cute. And
Yeah.
yes, I talk to him like an idiot.
So have you had dogs before?
Yeah. Can you see him?
Yeah. Oh, he's cute. He's cute. I love him already.
He is so cute.
And you said 10 pounds. So how big is he supposed to get?
Well, that's what I'm saying. His dad's a miniature Bernedoodle at 40 pounds. His mom weighed 70 pounds. So depending on which side of the family he falls on, it could be big. So
Oh,
he's not allowed to sleep in my bed with me because right now as a puppy it'd be fine. But if he gets to 70 pounds, I can't have him 70-pound dog jumping in my bed.
yeah. So his dad like big girls, huh?
Oh yeah, he did.
Big beautiful dogs.
Oh, he liked them girls. He liked them big girls.
That is so funny. So I think Willie's going to be joining us in a second. But Cleveland,
Okay.
Kate, I know it was like a holiday for you a couple days ago when the schedule dropped for the Cleveland Browns. Am I correct on that viewpoint?
It is. It was. It was. It was. But I'm not happy with the schedule. Willie's here. You might as well let him in. Since I'm done twerking, I haven't twerked today. I don't want him to think he missed something.
Okay.
But I was not happy with the schedule because
Really?
I went through all of them. We are the only team in the NFL that faces all three of our divisional opponents in the first 4 weeks, and then we get a bye. What is that?
I thought the bye was like the second game.
No, week 5.
Okay.
I'm like, what is that? I mean, if you're going to do it to everybody, right? You should play your division in the first 3, and then the last 3, and then everybody else in the middle. So, like, get your one division game out the way in those first few weeks, then figure out what everything else is, and then because the weeks, in my opinion, it takes you, now that we're on a 17-week season, it takes you through at least week 5, if not 6, to get the rust off, to figure out who you are, to just shake things out. Preseason isn't for anything but cutting bubble players. So you need those first 5 or 6 weeks. And if you look at the seasons over the years, weeks 4 to 6, 4 to 5 in the 16-game season, now I'm stretching it a week because we got 17 weeks. If you look at who's undefeated or who's 0 for 4 or whatever, they find ways to turn it around. That ain't necessarily how these divisions are going to be at the end of the year. We start with 3 divisional games. Then make everybody start with 3 divisional games. You know what I'm saying? I like having division games I like Cincinnati being our last game of the year. Maybe it'll come down to us versus Cincinnati for the division. I like having those at the end of the year. It won't, but it could. Who knows? It could be us against Cincinnati just so we don't finish in the bottom. I don't know what it's going to be. All I know is week 5 for the bye week is way too early. And 3 of my first 4 division games. Don't like it. Not unless you're going to do it to everybody. Don't like it. Because you're all rusty. You're not yourself. And you could go 0-3 in the division and win every other game and not be able to win your division because you started off rocky.
Well, let me ask you this.
Well, you asked Billy if he likes his schedule.
Yeah, but I have a question for you, though, before we get to Willie.
Hello.
What's up, Willie? So do you think that the way the schedule is set up with playing three division games in the first 5 weeks or first 4 weeks. Do you think this places a greater emphasis on the preseason as well, or do we think we're going to see the players a little bit more since for preseason we rush right into the division? Do you think that that's going to change how preseason is attacked? Might be a little differently than usual.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Especially because of what we saw with Deshaun Watson last year and how we're hoping to see a better Deshaun, that he, will, without the suspension and everything else going on, he'll have this full offseason to be ready to go. He's going to need some preseason reps to work on his timing against an actual defense with Amari Cooper, DPJ, whatever else they're going to do at the wide receiver position. We got tight ends. He's got, he needs to work through that. And I anticipate, at least for the Browns, I think you cannot discount the fact that you're facing your division in those early games, that they're going to see more reps in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Willie?
It's risky because in those games, you're also going up against defenders who are not the cream of the crop, who are fighting for a roster spot, who may do things that are not smart as far as protections, and you may risk your offensive guys getting injured by an overeager guy trying to make a defensive roster somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of risk of that. You got to be careful and look at who your preseason opponents are. But I think we could see more snaps from the starters than we usually do in preseason. And we're at a disadvantage in my mind because we have the Hall of Fame game. Mm-hmm. And that's really not, that's a weird game to have as one of your preseason ones. We got we playing the Jets because everybody going to be in Canton for Joe Thomas to get in. So we might as well go to a game too. I get it. But I don't know if they treat that game an experiment in it the way they do with the regular preseason game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Willie!
What it is?
Acting!
Junior.
I was supposed to say Junior.
Oh, my bad.
Junior!
Messing everything up, man. What's going on? How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm glad I didn't miss the twerking session.
You ain't supposed to tell nobody about that. That's off air.
Oh, my bad. Well, she said it first. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm glad I did not miss the Bible study session.
Well, you did.
No, I didn't. The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's kind of sad about Jerry Springer passing away a couple of weeks ago. I grew up on that and watched a ton of that in college. So yeah. But yeah, Maury's retired doing his thing, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, yeah. So Willie, what do you think about the Browns schedule? Are you feeling the same way as Kate within, kind of angry about it because you take on 3 divisional opponents in the first 4 games? Kate with the bye in 5.
With the bye in week 5. Mm-hmm. You know what? I don't really have that much of a problem with it, because there's been several other years where teams in the same division will face each other in the first couple games for sure. And it was tabbed as, okay, here comes this hated rival. They're going to get things going right away. And it may be the fact that it's Cleveland. I'm not exactly sure. I don't really see a problem with it. The players are the players, and they don't care. They don't care who they play or when they play them. I think this is probably a from a fan standpoint, and Kate, I love you dearly, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Am I saying that it's a big deal? I guess, but you at least, and I think you should be happy about the fact that you got 4 of your first 5 games at home. So
I would like to be happy about that, but I can't win a home opener. I can't win a season opener. Their home record was not what it should have been. I know
things to be terrible.
I know you think I'm making more of it than I should. And if I talk to Kevin Stefanski, he'd probably tell me the same thing. And if I talk to professional whoever, they would tell me the same thing. What I don't like is that it's not happening to everybody. Right. I like an even playing field. And whether there's an advantage or a disadvantage to playing everyone in your division in the first 4 weeks, it shouldn't just be us they're experimenting on. Either everybody's schedule should line up that way, or nobody should, because it just feels like a lot to me.
Well, y'all actually had one of the easier schedules in the league.
I mean, that's because we sucked.
Well, then ask me a question about the Raiders schedule then. Let's go there. Please.
Willie, how did you like the Raiders schedule?
It is absolutely horrendously unfair. Now, I'm glad you asked that I had to ask you to ask me. So here we go. The Raiders have their first three or four games on the road, and the third game of the third week of the year is home to a Pittsburgh Steelers squad on Sunday Night Football. And last time we played the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, actually it was on Christmas Eve, I think it was, and the Raiders lost to the Steelers in the 75th anniversary. I'm sorry, not the 75th. It was the 50th. The 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Unreception. So the Raiders have at Denver, at Buffalo, versus Pittsburgh, and then at home to the Chargers, and then versus Green Bay, and then versus New England. The reason why I say you want to say that the Browns sucked last year, well, the last time I checked, we were 7-11. But yet we got the fifth hardest schedule in the National Football League. Make that make sense to me. I'll wait.
I mean, you got Detroit and Chicago.
Detroit.
You put W's by those right now. Denver's a hot mess. They're in your division. You got to play them twice a week. They're a hot mess.
You can put a W by.
Detroit.
If I'm going to have to play Buffalo, I'm going to play Buffalo in the first 3 or 4 weeks, which you do.
Detroit is going to win the NFC North this year.
Sorry. I'm going to need whoever is in charge of production at All Sports, All Plays Network to clip that for me and save that, because I'm going to come back to that at the end of the year.
I will clip it for you myself.
Thank you.
Yeah, just like when you said Green Bay was going to be a mess a couple years ago, remember?
They were still a hot mess. They just managed to figure out how to play football. But Aaron Rodgers was a hot mess.
He won the MVP that year.
I also picked the Raiders to win their division that year, too.
And we made the playoffs.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so you're not making any sense right now, Kate. I mean,
no, I'm saying my predictions are better than yours.
I'm not making a prediction, but I guess I did. But so who in the hell is gonna win the NFC North? Are we really?
Well, listen, just because Kirk Cousins couldn't win a playoff game to save his life doesn't mean he can't win regular season games.
The Minnesota Vikings had a plus. The Minnesota Vikings had a plus minus differential of -3 points. And the only reason why they won the division is because they were able to win those close games, but they ain't winning those close games like that all the time. They're not doing it. Detroit is the team that got the best in that division. And they essentially made the playoffs, but for, I think it was Seattle actually won on the last day or lost or something happened to where it knocked them out. But they played well enough to be in the playoffs this year, and they're only going to improve because their roster got better.
Well, Milo agrees that they are the most improved team in the North.
How did we even get on Detroit? Who started?
But what about the Vikings?
But here's my thing with Detroit. They're a little bit like the Browns, them North divisions. They each got that one team that can't get out of their own way. And Chicago and Detroit kind of go back and forth with teams that shoot themselves in the foot and can't get out of their own way. All right, this is Milo. Say hi.
Hi, Milo.
He's going to go now.
What up, nephew Milo?
That's my new puppy. We were talking about him before you joined us.
Oh,
on paper, I completely agree that Detroit had the best offseason, that they've made the most improvements of any other team in that division, that they did themselves a world of favors. They had a very good draft. And all of that, I just need to see it in action now.
Okay.
Still the same.
Well, circling back, because I never gave my opinion about whether or not there was advantages or disadvantages. I can't remember who mentioned that. But I look at it as an advantage and a disadvantage because obviously, Cleveland has a lot to improve on. So you don't have that time, the bye week comes early. You don't really have that time to get into some other games, possibly easier games before you play your division. But you have a great opportunity to see where your team is at very early. So if we get smashed in those games, which possibly could happen because you need Deshaun Watson to improve, and he's only going to be given so many games to be able to do that. But, you got to have the opportunity to gauge where you are as a team against your own division, because if you lose, you get to play them again. So I think, you get a gauge of where your team is very early. So that's the advantage. But the disadvantage is going, the AFC North is one of the hardest divisions in all of football. So, going up against, those really good established teams, Lamar is back and, going against Joe Burrows, and, Pittsburgh is always finds a way to beat us. So, the disadvantage is, having 3 tough teams in the very beginning, but also having an easier schedule, being the 4th place team. You play all the other teams that pretty much were in 4th place as well. So I look at
y'all not playing us then? How can we not playing each other?
Because nobody want to be bothered with the Raiders.
No. See, now you make now you're getting emotional about it.
I'm just kidding.
So the Raiders got the Jets and the Giants in back-to-back weeks, albeit at home. Now I don't know if y'all know, but the Jets had this dude by the name of Aaron Rodgers.
I kind of heard about that.
Yeah, and the Jets, even with look. The Raiders have the AFC East and the NFC North. Is it break time? It looks like it's break time.
Yeah.
I saw the look on your face.
I didn't really give a look, but do you want to get it? You want to finish out your point, or do you want to wait?
I can wait.
Okay.
I can wait.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and take that break. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Oh gosh.
Our team helps keep you in the game. As the best orthopedic care in Ohio, we offer expert diagnosis, customized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries for every athlete, for every care in the world. Schedule your care today at clevelandclinic.org/access.
This message was brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic and WOVU 95.9 FM, the Burke Bell Car Community Radio Station. Getting connected to the internet opens up countless opportunities. Take classes online. Start your own new business. Stay in touch with your loved one. When you're connected, the possibilities are endless. The digital navigators are here to help you get started. They'll help you find the plans and devices that fit your budget and even connect you to free training and support. Call the digital navigators today, 216-307-6990. This message was brought to you by the Digital Navigators in WOVU 95.9 FM and Burton Bell Car Community Radio.
Tracy has changed my life in more ways than I could ever imagine. My name is Valencia Collins, and I earned my nursing degree at Tri-State.
Start now at tri-c.edu. This message was brought to you by WOVU 95.9 FM and Burton Bell Car Radio Station. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. I'm here with Willie Epteen Jr. and Cleveland Kate, and we are going to finish discussing Willie's team very quickly because we're actually going to get into the scheduled game in a few minutes. So, Willie, go ahead, sir.
I forgot what I was saying.
We got your division this year. We don't get you. We've got Denver and who else is in your division? Arizona?
No, the Chargers, the Raiders.
Oh, Chargers. Yep. We got Denver and the Chargers this year.
No, all I was saying was basically is that I think the strength of schedule really bodes, or is contingent upon the team, that's whatever team is in that division with them, because the Cowboys a couple years ago won the division and had the easiest schedule the next year, and that was primarily because of their division. This year, the Saints, even though they didn't make the playoffs, they actually had the easiest schedule in the NFL, primarily because of their division. And I think for the Raiders and anybody else really that plays the AFC West, like I think Buffalo plays the AFC West again, and in their own division, what they have, I mean, I think the AFC East is going to be the best division in all of football. I mean, it's conceivable that 3 of those 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. So I don't, like I said previously, I don't really think it matters to the players. It's the fans that are all in an uproar. And then, when these things come out, we start penciling off wins and losses. And here in May, we're talking about, a Cowboys team that's going to be 11-7 or 12-6. And we never really know. So that's why I say it's fun bantering about it. But I don't like the fact that this has happened to us like the last 4 years. I mean, where we have only made the playoffs once, but yet we've had one of the top 5 toughest schedules each of the past 4 years. That's all.
Yeah, George says that does Roger Goodell and the schedule makers despise the Browns? 3 division games in the first 4 games. Wow. Is there any other team in the NFL that starts this way off? And George, we've talked about it.
Nope.
That's a no. And he also said, I'm just angered at the fact that the Browns and Jets don't play until December 8th on a Thursday night. This game should have been either a Sunday or Monday night early, the schedule, not all the way till December.
Well, we play them August 3rd for the Hall of Fame game. And also because we're in the Hall of Fame game, the Browns and the Jets only get 2 preseason games. We get that one and one more, which, back to your point, Rachel, may really impact that alone. Skip the division opponents early on. The fact that we only get 2 preseason games may affect how many snaps our veterans, and our regular guys get. They may not be able to get the snaps they should because Kevin Stefanski and his crew are only going to have 2 games to evaluate these guys and get the roster down to 53.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Changes a lot.
I think when you get to that second preseason game, I mean, even before you get to that second preseason game, these coaching staffs are going to already have an idea who's going to be there and who's not.
Probably. If you're on the bubble by then, you should have done your work in OTAs and in training camp and all that. I get that. Mm-hmm. But it plays into how many snaps are we going to give the starters, because now I've only got 2 games to work out whatever I want to work out, to try what I'm going to try. We have a new defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz. What does he want to try with the defense that he's only got now 2 games to try a couple things on? Or is he experimenting in the first 4? In the first 4, we have our division, and then we have Tennessee right in the middle of that, which I don't mind that it's Tennessee. They're in our time zone. That Pittsburgh game is Monday Night Football, week 2. That's painful.
Nashville's actually an hour behind you guys. Yeah.
Well, they'll be here at my house.
Oh,
so that's their problem.
Their problem.
I mean, if we found some way, Rachel, if we're going to play the game, if we could find some way to be 2-2 at the bye, I'd call that a win.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, if I could just be 500 for bye week 5. Mm-hmm. And then I don't understand. So we've got 2 primetime games. One of them is in week 2, is Monday Night Football. The other one is a Thursday night game in December when we play the Jets, like George talked about. But there's a game in December against the Bears that we're home for that's listed as TBD. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to understand what the TV people or the schedulers or whoever are looking at that makes them think that game might be interesting as a flex or something. Like, I can't figure out why they think Browns Bears might end up being like the 8 o'clock Sunday night game. I don't know what that is. I don't understand a TBD between us and the Bears.
I think it's because there are certain improvements that are expected out of the Bears, and there's really certain expectations that are coming out of Cleveland because, as you alluded to earlier in the show, Deshaun Watson's going to have an entire year or an entire whatever to get acclimated. Everything that they're going through right now is just the prerequisite to what we are going to see in week 1. So all these things that they're doing behind the scenes, and I wish I had some sort of inside eye like you do, Kate, but I just believe that at that point, there always is a team that we are expecting to just going to be just balling out, that's going to fall flat on their face. And then there's a team that's going to be that we expect to fall flat on their face, that's going to ball out. I'm not saying it's Chicago or Cleveland, but if that were the case, based on what we've seen them do in the offseason, really would we be that surprised? I don't know.
No, probably not. The Colts are another team I got as sort of my, underdog, like the team I'm going to keep my eye on this year because I don't know what they're going to do. Rachel, did you see that we get to play against the Texans? You think CJ Stroud will be starting for them?
I definitely think
by the end of the season?
And I'm very excited for that game, and we get them here in Cleveland. So that's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for CJ, but I look to this one as to be a victory. Obviously that was Deshaun Watson's first game back last year, and we managed to win that game. But I look at this as a victory over his former team as well. So I'm really excited for CJ Stroud. And George says, when did the NFL start playing 2 preseason games? The Browns and Jets ever play 4 preseason games, and other teams? Hold on.
No, the 2 preseason.
So we back to 3, and if you're in the Hall of Fame game, you only get 2.
Right. Yeah. So that started when we went to week 18. What, 2 years ago? 18 weeks.
Yeah, they cut everyone back to just 3 preseason. That was their sort of negotiation with the players. If you're going to do an extra week of the season, we take away 1 week of preseason.
Mickey says, "Hi, beautiful Rachel. Hi, beautiful Kate."
Hi, Mickey.
He's shooting a shot.
No, hi, handsome Willie.
No
love for Willie.
He doesn't.
That's cold.
He doesn't have to call me handsome. I don't mind that one way whatsoever. It's okay.
Sweet Willie.
It's okay.
But yeah, that's
One-Eyed Willie. That's a movie. Never mind.
That I think about for Deshaun Watson, him not being able to get that much time with his receivers and get that timing down and things like that, because there's going to be a lot expected out of him. But, to go up against 3 divisional opponents in the first 4 games, I'd rather, it kind of be a stair step for him, against each team. But he's kind of being thrown to the fire, and there's an expectation that not he plays perfectly, but there's a marked improvement over last season, and I'm just not sure if we'll see it so early. So I definitely consider that to be a disadvantage for us. So Mickey said, "Hi, my brother Willie." There you go.
There you go. Appreciate the love there, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this is crazy. So we're going to go ahead and take our break, and then we're going to go ahead and start our schedule game. We probably won't get all of it done today. We'll try, but whatever we don't finish today, we'll finish tomorrow. So you're listening to Her in a Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we're going to be right back.
Efforts in Cleveland. Do you have questions about lead poisoning and why prevention is important? Don't know where to start? Don't know where to get help? Well, there's good news. There's training that is perfect for you, and the Lead Safe Resource Center is here to help answer all your questions. This training presents information on the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, the resources and teams available to support you, along with great information on who, what, when, where, and why for all things lead poison and prevention. And listen up, there's more. If you register now, you're eligible to receive a gift card. Yep, there's 1 gift card per adult attendee. Those interested and ask for Ashley Dunn. Thank you for listening to WOVU 95.9 FM, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
COVID is still in our community, and your health matters to Neighborhood Family Practice. They can help you prevent COVID or other health issues like diabetes, HIV, or high blood pressure. Their providers take the time to know you and understand your health needs and the health needs of your entire family. They accept Medicaid and have openings for new patients. Neighborhood Family Practice takes care of patients no matter their ability to pay. Call today at 216-281-0872. 216-281-0872. Or log on to nfpmedcenter.org. Your health matters to Neighborhood Family Practice.
This message is brought to you by Neighborhood Family Practice and 95.9 FM WOVU. Our Voices United. Burton Bell Carr Community Radio.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to WOVU 95.9 FM. Keep in mind, you can listen to us on your regular radio dial at 95.9 FM. You can download that WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go. You can listen to us online at WOVU.org. And last but not least, if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always contact the station at 216-271-0959. And I'm here with Cleveland Kate and Willie Epting Jr. So you guys, we said we're going to go ahead and play the schedule game in the next segment. But before we do get to the schedule game, I want to talk about a little bit about the Browns pickup of Zadarius Smith. Kate, I'm going to ask you first, what are your thoughts about that pickup? I think you might be on mute, Kate.
Sorry, I muted myself because I had the window open because the weather's so nice. I wanted to get a little breeze. And of course, my next door neighbor decides he needs to mow his lawn. So I didn't want you to hear his lawnmower every time he drove by. So I muted myself and then forgot that I muted myself because that's how I go. I love this because I like that not only did we draft some studs for the defense, we've got a Pro Bowl pass rusher that came from the Vikings. And I think it shows that the front office is doing what it can and Kevin Stefanski to support Jim Schwartz and what he's seeing when he looks at this defensive roster and what he thinks we need to improve on defense this year. And they're actually getting him, giving him weapons, players, bodies that will fit into what he wants to do. I mean, obviously we have Myles Garrett. I would venture to say that Myles is the only untouchable person on my defense right now. I love me some Denzel Ward. If he could stay healthy, life would be better. And we do have some very other good pieces, but I like the idea that Schwartz is getting to make his mark on this defense.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too. And with Smith, he's a go back and forth. He's gone back and forth between defensive end and outside linebacker. He's versatile, and that should be good under Jim Schwartz 4-3 defense. And then also focusing on an aggressive front two, and with the wide nine technique that benefits edge rushers. So also, he's been all pro, and I think he made the Pro Bowl a couple times as well. So, 3-time Pro Bowler and former second team All Pro selection. So they have a player who's did a lot, and they didn't have to really get rid of anything to acquire him as well.
They didn't. And last season was not his best season. Things fell off a little bit, but I didn't see where it was an injury or anything like that caused the issues. I think there were some things going on behind the scenes with the Vikings. They had a lot of players who didn't perform up to their potential last year. And maybe it was just not a good situation. So I've heard some people say, he's been to the Pro Bowl, but look at his stats for last year. And I'm like, I don't want to isolate a year. unless he was injured or coming back for an injury, then you can look at stats like that and you can say, all right, is this going to be a trend now? Is he not going to be able to get back to what he was? I think there was just some head stuff going on, and it didn't cost us much, really. So I just think it's a good thing. I think he's a name people know. I think he's got a whole lot of talent. And like I said, I just think it's the Browns' way of supporting Jim Schwartz and what he wants to do to put his stamp on this defense.
Yeah, and then that'll give somebody on the other side a mile. So we got to figure out what we want to do with Oka Ronquo, I think. So we were looking at him getting those snaps, but now Zadarius Smith will probably have those snaps, and Okoromo, I don't have it in front of me, but he'll be a serviceable second teamer. So I think that's great to have depth at that position, which is something that we currently didn't have because we had to go out and aggressively pursue it since Jadeveon Clowney isn't here anymore. So having depth is going to be a good thing as well.
Well, especially, I mean, I'm guessing Schwartz is going to run a 4-3 as the base for the defense. You've still got JOK. You've still got, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Greg Newsome. You've got some other pieces, but you're right. Having Zadarius on the other side of Miles, Jadeveon Clowney's gone. You needed that counterpart for him. And if Abonia Akarana, if OO needs – is going to lose some reps to him, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with looking to see what Dalvin Tomlinson and Siaki Ika do. We drafted Ika pretty high. I'm excited about, what the possibilities are with him. So I think we're starting to see what this defense could look like, and we'll have to wait and see what it actually does look like when we get to preseason.
Yeah, George has a comment where he says, remember Willie Veda Blue best season, had more wins than 2023 A's right now. Hi to you too. Mickey says it's a big hockey game tonight, game 7. Kraken and Stars. I might take a look at that since there's no NBA on. Mickey is asking George, how are you? Did you see the past Oakland has a place on the Strip? Yeah, I heard about that today. So the Oakland A's moving is kind of imminent. And then Mickey said, you're multi-Kate. Come on. And George says, wasn't the Smith trade more of a salary dump from Minnesota than an actual trade? I think so as well, too, because I think
Minnesota is a team in transition. They're trying to figure out what they want to do and who they want to be.
They traded Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did. That's why I kept saying Minnesota, they ain't who. I almost said it, but they ain't who they think you are, or they are, or whatever coach.
They're a team in transition right now.
Yeah.
So
it'll
be interesting to see what they do at the quarterback position. I want Kirk Cousins to do well. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. I have a soft spot in my heart for him. I can't figure it out. I don't know, but he's just not. He's not the answer for them. He is a backup quarterback who can come in if you have an injury or if you have a guy that's suspended. He is not the guy that's going to take this franchise to the Super Bowl. They got to figure out what they're doing. And so they're moving things around behind the scenes, and in all the other places, they're freeing up salary space. I think at some point, if they want to win this division, if they want to get into the Super Bowl, they got to do something different at the quarterback position. It is what it is.
This is Kirk Cousins.
Titans are in the same place.
This is Kirk Cousins' last year on that third of 3-year guaranteed deals. Yep. This quarterback class is coming out next year. Is actually going to be better than this one this year, to include the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and Caleb Williams from USC. So there's a lot of maneuver, and I'm not saying that these teams are tanking. All I'm saying is what a lot of people may be thinking, and that is, what is Minnesota doing? Are they in transition? It seems like they are. They got rid of a dynamic weapon, although he's been off injured the last few years, and they trade this dude after signing him from Green Bay in the offseason a couple years ago. What are they doing up there? They just won the division. They lost the home playoff game to the Giants. Nobody saw that coming but me, because I'm the only one that called that. And I just believe that when it comes to Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins is the quintessential Hall of Good, Hall of All Right.
He is.
Not Hall of Famer, never will be. He is Hall of All Right.
Like, he's a good backup. If you have an injury, if you have a quarterback that's out for a few weeks, he can come in, he can keep that ship right and go back to holding his clipboard. But I thought the move to Miami was interesting. There, I've had some conversations with people about how long the leash is going to be for Tua this year. You know, you got Mike White sitting right behind him. You got Skylar Thompson in there. You got options. And how long is that leash going to be for Miami in that AFC East division? And I don't think it's very long. And I think they're trying to get as much help as they can for Tua or whoever ends up under center. So I thought the Dalvin Cook pickup was very interesting with that deal for the Dolphins.
They've got a trio of running backs in Miami.
Yep.
That are going to be really, really good. And a lot of people are seemingly believing that, you know, if Tua is the wild card. I mean, he is the wild card. If Tua plays the way that he played up until week 5 of last year, the Dolphins might go to the Super Bowl.
Agreed. If
look, what you rolling your eyes at me for? I didn't put it out there. I didn't put their roster together, Rachel. Why are you looking at it like that?
I don't foresee them going to the Super Bowl.
They got offensive line issues. They've got great running backs, and they don't run the ball as well as they should.
They're going to be running the ball now, and
so
they have
need to run the ball. They need to keep Tua from getting hurt. They'll be all right.
And they have.
Rachel, are we going to run through the schedule? You want to talk NBA playoffs, or you want to start doing the schedule game?
I don't know what y'all think.
I don't know. I thought y'all were doing that.
Yeah, we started talking about other stuff though.
Okay, well, let me throw this in there then, because Miami Dolphins also have Jalen Ramsey in the secondary. So, how about NBA playoffs?
All right, yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Wait a minute. Wait, Rachel.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I will tell you, I have not watched a playoff game since the Cavs were knocked out.
What?
And I don't like any of the teams that are left. Maybe the Nugs. Maybe the Nugs. I could root for the Nuggets, but I don't like the Heat. I don't like the Celtics, and I don't like the Lakers. So that leaves me with the Nuggets. I got to root for the Nuggets.
The Nuggets are the most boring team to watch.
I know.
It's like watching paint dry, and I posted that on Facebook. Like I literally couldn't do it, and they're the best basketball team in the West, but they're just boring to watch.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, for them, do we want to see a LeBron Heat championship game match series?
Or do I don't think the Heat are going to get past Boston, though.
Do we want to see a Lakers Celtics?
No.
We don't?
No, because it'll never be as good as it was.
Well, okay. But it never is.
I mean, it would be fun because then you could see Shaq and Larry Bird commercials and what's his name? You know, the one who got the HIV and then never got sick because
Magic Johnson?
That's him. You can see Magic and Larry will come do some commercials or something. That series on HBO was pretty good, by the way. For the nostalgia of it, but I don't think this year with the rosters they have that it could live up to what those were. But that's what all it would be, right? That's what everybody would be talking about is what it was. I'm sure there are people in, TV and the ESPN and stuff who really want it to be Lakers Celtics because of all the filler they would have to talk about. I just don't know if that would be interesting to watch. I know Rachel doesn't want to watch the Nuggets because they're boring. I think a Lakers Heat series with those matchups would be more interesting and exciting basketball.
That would be a sweep.
Yeah, and you just had that.
The Lakers would sweep the Heat. If not a sweep, at least a gentleman's sweep.
Listen, I love that a 7 and an 8 seed are in the semis.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, well, the Lakers aren't really a 7 seed, so.
Yeah, and that's
part of what says they are. LeBron took a few months off, and then he came back the way he does, and they're just powering through everybody. Maybe that's the way to do it, is you lose a bunch of games there at the end, rest your superstars, you get a lower seed, and then he's back healthy and gone, and you can just sit back and ride his coattails.
Yeah, that's part of what I was thinking regarding the regular season. I told you, I always credit this to Jason Lloyd that really good teams only have to play hard for 5 minutes in a game, and they're usually straight. So, they look at it, and maybe the Lakers was like, well, we necessarily don't have to do the best in the regular season, but we can turn it on in the playoffs. And I had predicted Golden State was going to win over the Lakers, and I felt like Golden State had that attitude as well, when they took down Sacramento, who, I think maybe was third in the West and had a great regular season, as well. But, they got in that playoffs, and Golden State being, that juggernaut that they usually are, were able to, upset them. So I felt that they were going to be able to come in and do the same thing. And they had home court advantage, which they gave away by letting the Lakers win game one. But I thought that Golden State, because of their track record, their history, who they are, Steph Curry, I thought that they were going to come back and win that series and be playing in the Western Conference Finals and get beat by Denver. But that didn't happen. So I'm kind of shocked that that wasn't the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see Lakers Celtics.
All right.
Because I don't think they won Denver in the NBA Finals.
The Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat?
No, the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to come out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that who wants to see the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat in the finals?
Nobody.
Other than people in Miami and in Denver.
Well, people in Denver, people in Miami don't really care.
Well, yeah.
It's been my experience with Miami.
If that was going to be the finals, I wouldn't watch a game.
Do we have to take one more break?
Yeah, we do got to take a break.
And then we're doing nothing but schedule game when we get back.
Well, we got to talk about Ja Morant, though, like 2 seconds.
Okay, we can talk about Ja. I got no problem with that.
Okay. All right. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. We're going to be right back.
The Village of Healing Center is the first and only clinic for Black women in Cuyahoga County, connecting Black patients with Black providers. Our culturally sensitive-based approach to healthcare decreases racial disparities and provides Black women access to the healthcare they deserve. The Village of Healing Center serves pregnant and non-pregnant women and all their women's health and mental health care needs, including annual exams, pregnancy and postpartum care, menopause concerns, and mental health therapy. Visit villageofhealingcle.com. That's villageofhealingcle.com or call 216-815-4325 to make an appointment today. This message is brought to you by the Village of Healing Center and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, Burtonville Car Community Radio. This message is brought to you by the Legal Aid Society and WOVU 95.9 FM. Our Voices United, a Burtonville Car Community Radio station. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle. Rachel, the First Lady.
All right. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. I'm here with Cleveland Kate and Willie Upton Jr., and we are going to get into Ja Morant right quick. Ja Morant is an idiot, and that's all I got to say.
Alrighty then. Willie, rebuttal.
Like the homie Dwayne Sutton once said, he is the dumbest smart person I know. Period.
No, he ain't smart.
No, he's smart.
Right.
He's got, from what they say, he's got very high basketball IQ. So I'm giving him that. But you are dumb as I don't know what.
There's no common sense. So he can have a great basketball IQ,
Yeah,
but
there's no
also,
common sense. Can you
who-
explain what happened? Because I'm seeing questions on the comments of people that don't know
Yeah, he
about
got
the problem.
yeah. He got caught on Instagram Live brandishing a gun, and it was even on, I don't know if it was his Instagram Live or if it was one of his homeboys. But
It was
all
one
them
of his
dudes that he
homeboys.
surrounds himself with, he need to get them away from him. And somebody needs to tell him that. I'm gonna tell you right now, since this dude want to be a Crip so bad, and I'm not a Crip, but I know plenty of them or have known plenty of them.
You do?
If this dude wants to be a Crip so bad, let him go get dropped off at the intersection of Hoover and 108th Street in South Central Los Angeles and see how bad he wants to be a Crip after that.
You know Crips and Bloods?
Yeah, I've known some. Yeah.
Gangs are real.
You want to go to? Do you want to go to the intersection of Hoover and Vermont, all down up in? Let's go. I'll take you out there.
I'm from Shaker Heights. Absolutely not.
Okay. I'm not even from Los Angeles, and they don't have gangs like that in Oakland. But like I said, I have known some Crips and some Bloods. I mean, some real Hoover Crips.
I love Too Short.
I mean, he got in trouble earlier this year, right?
Yes,
Hanging out at a
for the
strip
same
club.
thing.
Or the
Brandishing
same
weapons.
thing.
I will say this about LeBron James. He surrounded himself with people in his early years that he took with him everywhere he went. Maverick Carter and all those guys. They were good dudes. He did not surround himself with people who were getting arrested and causing problems and doing nothing but getting in trouble. John needs to figure this out. He is way too young and he has way too much talent to be this stupid.
I don't think he ever will.
These
I don't.
common sense decisions. He's like, it wasn't even my gun. I'm like, why are you touching it? What were you thinking?
Why are you in the position in the first place?
His agent, his mom, somebody needs to sit him down and give him a talking to, because nothing frustrates me more than when someone has the God-given talent that he has and they throw it away doing stupid things.
Look at it like this, Kate. How is anybody going to be able to tell this dude anything when his father is at crypto.com arena or whatever it's called, getting into it with Shannon Sharp in the crowd?
You know, maybe LeVar Ball can have a conversation.
Oh my gosh.
I
Schedule, please.
It's one of the interesting things about basketball.
Schedule,
right?
please. Schedule, please.
I've met a few fathers, mothers, and fathers of football players that seem that way off the field and off the court, very similar to his dad and LeVar Ball in that. But there's a separation with football. You can't get as close to the players as you can with basketball, which is dangerous for some of these parents. That's all I have to say about that. I hope he figures it out, because I like to watch him play. And it seems a shame that he's on an 8-game ban for this one or something. They suspended him already. I mean, it's
no. They have suspended him from all team activities until further notice.
We don't know if he's going to get any games into next season yet.
Oh, there's people talking about suspended for possible 5 games, maybe even half the season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, and yet Draymond Green continues to play.
Yeah, but Draymond Green ain't out here showing guns to people.
No, he's stomping people's faces on a court in front of cameras and fans.
That ain't the same thing though. I mean,
I know. If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. Rachel, what do you think's going to happen the first 4 weeks? I got 2-2.
The first 4 weeks. Hold on, give me a second.
Cincinnati's
a loss. Pittsburgh's a win. Tennessee's a win. Baltimore's a loss.
Okay, I can see that.
Wins and losses.
I can see that, but one last thing on John Morant, it just kind of, reminds me of Gilbert Arenas and Javaris Credit and bringing in guns into the facility and stuff like that. There's nothing that's going to be good that comes out of this. And unfortunately, I have a friend of a friend whose son, was a bad egg or whatever. And I said, nothing good is going to come of this. Either he's going to end up in jail, he's going to end up dead. And unfortunately, he ended up dead. But these are conscious choices and decisions that they're making, and whatever happens.
Yeah.
So, and I think it was live. So I think that, obviously it got taken down, but by it being live when it was taking place,
That's a conscious decision
who
that you
leaked
made
it?
to do that.
Yeah, you're like, who leaked it? But it wasn't leaked because it was live already. So, that's just, stupidity and stuff like that. And you would hope somebody, in the position of millions that millions of people want to be in would be better, do better, and be humble and, take advantage of those opportunities. But, no. But schedule game, we got 4 minutes left. I can foresee that, Kate, of going 4-4. Then, you got a tough game when you have the 49ers come here. So, who's going to be their quarterback? What's his name again? I forgot. I'm sure he's going to be better. Huh?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy.
Yes,
and he was
Brock
having, Tommy John surgery or something? I don't know that he'll be ready by then.
He'll be back.
Maybe.
He's already throwing balls again. He'll be back.
Yeah, that's week 6. I mean, he could be.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that a win because they got to come here, and those West Coast teams don't like traveling here. It's 1 o'clock our time. It feels like, 8 in the morning to them or something? I can't do math right now. I'm going to call that a win. So I'm going to go 3 wins, 2 losses.
Colts in Indianapolis. I'm going to go that's a win.
Anthony Richardson, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I love Anthony Richardson. I'm a loss. I'm going to think by week 7, he's got a little bit of something figured out. I'm going to call it a loss for me.
Okay.
At Seattle, Jackson Smith-Njigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Geno
You
Smith.
love me some JSN. Is Geno still quarterbacking?
They just signed him to an extension.
Yeah, that's a loss for me.
You think so?
But it is. But I'm going to take a win at Arizona. Arizona's coming here, and I am not a fan of Kyler Murray. I don't know what happened to that dude.
He won't
Maybe
be there
it's
anyway.
Oklahoma quarterback thing. Maybe it's he's doing what Baker did. I don't know. I'm going to call that a win for us. That's 4-4.
He won't be there anyway. He won't be back in time.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy, I don't know who they got on there. I have to check their depth chart. So I'm going to call that a win. Baltimore. We're going to lose to them the first time, so I'm going to think we can beat them the second time.
Well, we're going to have to beat them in their place, which has been tough for us today.
Yes.
So
and we're going to beat Pittsburgh. We're going to beat Pittsburgh twice this year, so I'm going to call that win number 6.
That's a bold prediction.
That is a very bold prediction, but I hate them. I can never pick them to win.
The Steelers
Denver is difficult.
They got better. The Steelers got better now. Hold up now.
I'm not arguing that. That's the Mike Tomlin effect. I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
But they also tend to overlook us, even though they're beating us up all the time. I'm going to hope by then Deshaun has figured it out and we can beat them.
At Denver.
Denver's a tough game. We struggle against Denver no matter who's under center. With Russell Wilson and everything that's going on out there, I'm going to call that a loss. I'm 6-5.
What? If Russell ain't playing good, I think that's definitely a win.
They got Sean though. They've got
Sean Payton.
They've got Sean Payton.
And by week 12, he should have. I mean, maybe week 5 we do the schedule game again, and I redo a whole bunch of my options on the second half of the season. But right now, I'm calling that a loss.
At the Chargers.
If they're smart enough to just stay out west and not even bother coming home, we can beat the Chargers.
Home to Jacksonville.
Yeah, we can't beat Jacksonville. That's 6.
Oof.
The Rams, that's always a tough game for us. So
I said the Chargers. I meant the Rams. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think that's a loss. No, yeah, I think that's a loss because they always play us funny. Jaguars, I can see that being a loss.
Jacksonville's tricky because they're playing here, the sunshine, is good. Jacksonville's improving. Week 14, they're going to be fighting for that division. I'm going to call that a loss.
Okay. That's it for us, guys. It's already 7 p.m., so we got to go. But we
Bye.
can finish this next week with you guys, since I'll have both of you.
Yes.
I don't have enough fingers to finish the